Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 1 hour, Hezbollah fires 30 rockets in an overnight barrage. Israeli jets strike the launcher in southern Lebanon. Iron Dome activated. Thousands rally in Venezuela opposing Nicolas Maduro's poll victory claims. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado joins protesters. 2 killed in Bangladesh as fresh clashes erupt. Protesters seek the Prime Minister's resignation, reject her offer of talks. In Paris, Indian hockey team is one step closer towards the 9th gold medal at Olympics. Thrashes Great Britain in a shootout to reach the semi-finals. As tensions continue to rise in West Asia, Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system went into action early on Sunday, intercepting a barrage of rockets fired from Lebanon. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden expressed hope that Iran would stand down its threat to avenge the assassination of Hamas's leader in Tehran, as fears mounted that Israel-Gaza conflict could further escalate into a wider West Asia conflict. Haniyeh's death was one in a series of killings of senior Hamas figures as the Gaza conflict nears its 11-month run, while Hamas said it had begun a broad consultation process to choose a new leader. And seeking to bolster defense in the West Asian region in response to threats from Israel's foes, the Pentagon on Friday said it would deploy additional fighter jets and Navy warships to the region. Israel Army has struck Hezbollah launcher in Lebanon, from which they claimed the rockets were fired overnight into northern Israel as well as in the area of Marjayun in Lebanon. Amidst the growing tensions in West Asia, foreign governments continue to warn their citizens to leave Lebanon immediately amid fears of an all-out conflict between Hezbollah and Israel. The United States and the United Kingdom issued warnings to citizens in Lebanon to leave the country immediately on Saturday. The U.S. Embassy in Beirut has urged its citizens to leave Lebanon on any ticket available. Whereas giving similar warning, UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy said that the regional situation could deteriorate rapidly. The recent unrest was triggered by assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh on Wednesday and the killing of Hezbollah commander Fuad Shukr in Beirut. It is feared that the terror group Hezbollah could play a heavy role in any such retaliation, in which in turn could spark serious Israeli response. And India's Trent Murray joins us live from Beirut for more on that. Hi Trent, good to see you. The United Kingdom Foreign Secretary says that the situation could deteriorate rapidly in the coming days. Do you agree with his assessment as you stand on the ground where the action is taking place?
Yeah, well, look, that certainly is one of many messages that we are hearing from foreign governments and foreign ministers advising their citizens to leave, because it really does feel like the situation could be on the brink of escalating into something quite major. We, of course, know that there are tens of thousands of foreign nationals here right now, and the concern is that if there is a major outbreak of war, then they could be stuck here, effectively leading to pressure on those governments to have to then evacuate them. We know that, of course, Lebanon and Israel have been trading fire since October of last year, but it really has been confined to the border regions. What Hezbollah is saying is that that airstrike on Tuesday, which targeted the southern suburbs of Beirut, really a stronghold of Hezbollah in this city, well, they say that that crossed red lines and violated the unwritten rules of engagement. And so they are vowing a pretty serious response. In their view, it will be a real response, not a symbolic one. And I think the concern is, could that response then prompt Israel to equally respond in a very strong way, targeting the Lebanese capital right where I am? That is the reason I think many of those governments are warning citizens to get out now while there is still a window of opportunity.
Okay. Trent, how does the security dynamic in the region change after the U.S. announced deployment of additional naval assets? Would they really be a deterrent, or is it, signs of things to come where they're preparing for an all-out offensive?
Yeah, I think deterrence is certainly one factor at play here with the deployment of those additional fighter jets and also warships. But I think more importantly, the reason they're being positioned here is because Israel is bracing for a major retaliation from both Iran and some of its proxy groups like Hezbollah. And so having those ships here and also fighter jets will allow the Americans to assist the Israelis in shooting down any missiles or rockets before they can enter Israeli airspace. Of course, we've seen this before, haven't we, back in April when Iran launched about 300 rockets and missiles at Israel. They were all largely able to be intercepted, but only with the help of the Americans, the British, and also some French. So I think that is what is at play here with those additional assets. There is also some discussion that having those ships in the region will assist if there is a major conflict, assist in being able to evacuate foreign nationals from Lebanon if the international airport for some reason is unable to have commercial flights coming in. Certainly in 2006, when there was a war between these two countries, Beirut Airport was one of the first sites targeted by the IDF. For many Lebanese, they remember that, and there's concerns it could happen again if there is another war.
Okay, Trent, when we were speaking yesterday, you mentioned that, unlike in the past, this time the chatter is quite muted from Iran and its proxies. How does that augur? Does that mean that there will be some retaliation just for the show of it, to give some kind of lip service to it or deal with their domestic audience? Or is there a real serious threat of a multi-pronged attack from, say, the Houthis in Yemen, the Iranians, the Syrians, the Hezbollah on the anvil?
Yeah, I think the threat is very, very real, and I think the reason we can say that comfortably is the warnings and the messaging that we are getting from diplomatic sources and governments. What you need to remember, of course, is you mentioned them. There's many groups here, the Hezbollah, Hamas, the Iranians, the Yemen Houthis, but they're all linked. They're all part of what they call the axis of resistance, and they largely all consider Israel their enemy. So a multi-pronged attack is very much something that is, I don't think, hard to imagine, and it's something that diplomats are very concerned about. And for that reason, I think many airlines here have cancelled their services out of fear that there could be some sort of approach or an attack like that. In terms of what the Iranians are saying, well, certainly their state media is making it clear that an attack will come. But what we understand is there's just not the same level of back-channel conversations taking place like there was in April. Back in April, they were quietly warning something was coming to let other countries in the region know, like Iraq, Syria, Jordan, for example. This time it would appear they're trying to maintain an element of surprise and really keep the Israelis on their toes. But of course, the risk with that is that the miscalculation or misunderstanding could be very prevalent and could spiral the situation out of control. So look, right now, just I think an atmosphere of unease, awaiting, I guess you could say, the proverbial storm which is to come. But diplomats are still working the phones right now, trying to diffuse tensions. We've just heard Jordan's King Abdullah has dispatched his foreign minister to Tehran to deliver a message on behalf of the Jordanian government. It'd be very interesting to see what that message is being delivered right now.
Okay, these are ominous signs, Trent, but we hope diplomacy prevails and good sense prevails. You take care of yourself and be safe. Thanks for joining us. And at least 2 Israelis were killed and 2 others were injured on Sunday in a suspected knife attack in Tel Aviv in central Israel. The stabbings took place during the morning rush hour in the city of Holon, just outside Tel Aviv. According to Israel's ambulance service, the attacker stabbed people near the gas station and a park. The attacker was later shot by the police. Shortly after the incident, Israeli Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir arrived at the scene and met with journalists. On to the other conflict. Russia has captured 1 settlement in the Donetsk region. Meanwhile, Russian authorities reported intercepting dozens of drones over several regions in Kyiv. The official said that Ukraine has carried out attacks on a number of military targets in Russia, including an airfield and oil depots, including in the Belgorod region, killing 1 woman. Far-right activists and anti-racism groups continued clashes in cities across the United Kingdom on Saturday following a stabbing attack at a dance class in northwest England last week, which resulted in 3 young girls being killed and several others injured. False claims that teenage suspect in the attack is a radical Muslim migrant have intensified tensions, leading to confrontations between anti-immigration groups and the police. Despite a court order lifting the suspect's anonymity to address misinformation and very clearly stating that the man was not, or the suspect was not a radical Muslim, he has no Islamic connection. In Stoke-on-Trent, bricks were thrown on officers, and in Hull, windows of a hotel housing migrants was smashed. In Liverpool, a police officer was kicked off his motorbike. Scuffles were also reported in Belfast, Manchester and Nottingham. Renewed street violence in British cities on Saturday left several police officers injured as they faced the 4th day of unrest following the murder of the girls that we're talking about. A shoe shop in the east coast city of Hull was set on fire amidst the violence, while mounted police clashed with protesters in the southwestern city of Bristol. Authorities in Hull said that 4 people were arrested, 3 officers were injured, while dealing with the protests where bottles were thrown at the police. Riots involving hundreds of anti-immigration protesters have erupted in several towns. Interior Minister Yvette Cooper condemned the violence and unrest in British cities following the murder of the girls. Cooper said that the government fully backed the police and that there were extra prosecutors and sufficient prison places to deal with those breaking the law.
Well, criminal violence and disorder has no place on Britain's streets. We've been clear to the police that they have our full backing in taking the strongest possible action against perpetrators, including we're making sure that there are more prosecutors, there are sufficient prison places, and also that the courts stand ready, because anyone who engages in this kind of disorder needs to be clear that they will pay the price.
The decision of Venezuela's Electoral Council to declare President Nicolas Maduro the winner of the July 28th election with 51% of the vote has sparked immediate accusations of fraud by the opposition. Protests continue all across South American country. 7 European Union countries have jointly called on Venezuelan authorities to promptly publish the electoral rolls.
Protests against Venezuela's contested national election results have taken a new turn on Saturday when the top opposition figure, Maria Corina Machado, made a surprise appearance in a truck. She joined her supporters protesting in the streets of Caracas as thousands marched all across the South American country. She spent much of the week in hiding after what she said was a threat by Maduro of arrest.
The world knows they intend to forcefully withhold the result. 6 days later, they have not handed over a single record. The period has expired and no pseudo-legal maneuver can cover up the truth. The truth is in our tallies and the fact is in our hearts.
In addition to Caracas, demonstrations took place in Chile's capital, Santiago. Venezuelans across Latin America also took to the streets to protest and demand transparency and justice in their home country's recent election results. Meanwhile, 7 European Union countries, including Italy, France, Germany and Spain, have jointly called on the Venezuelan authorities to promptly publish the electoral rules to ensure full transparency around last weekend's election. Some 2,000 people had been detained in connection to crimes during protest. During a rally in Caracas, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro pledged maximum punishment and accused the detainees of committing serious offences.
We have 2,000 prisoners captured. From there, they go to Tocoron and Tuquiyutu prisons. Maximum punishment, justice. This time, there will be Tocoron prison.
Justicia.
Opposition leader Machado had backed the candidacy of Edmundo González Urrutia after she herself was banned from running, and supporters say he won 67% of the vote. Bureau Report, DD India.
And still to come up on DD India News Hour, President Bola Tinubu says the Nigeria he seeks to build has no place for ethnic bigotry in his first televised address since the protests broke out. The Philippines and Germany commit to a broader defense cooperation. Donald Trump proposes alternative election debate on Fox News. Kamala Harris says no.
This summer, the world turns its eyes to Paris, and DD India brings you every heartbeat, every victory, and every story. Introducing our special coverage of the Paris Olympics. Experience the passion, the drama, and the triumphs. With exclusive reports, expert analysis, and up-to-the-minute updates. Join us as we bring the spirit of the Olympics to your screens.
Get ready for the ultimate sporting extravaganza on DD India.
DD India presents Champions Day Paris. Only on DD India. Every day at 6:30 p.m. IST, 1 p.m. GMT.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Amritpal Singh. The Philippines and Germany have committed to concluding a broader defense cooperation arrangement on Saturday as both nations celebrate 70 years of their diplomatic relations. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius with his Philippines counterpart Gilberto Teodoro in Manila committed to establishing long-term relations between their armed forces during the joint press conference. Manila and Berlin are deepening their military ties as tensions have flared up in the recent months between China and the Philippines, which have traded accusations over run-ins in disputed areas of the South China Sea. In Bangladesh, several incidents of violence were reported on Sunday as nationwide non-cooperation movement continues. Most of the shops and other private offices were closed along with educational institutions. Apart from Dhaka and its nearby districts, mass protests and violence were reported in Chittagong and Bogura. At least 2 people were killed and many others injured in Munshiganj town near Dhaka. At least 1 person was killed and 20 others injured in a clash between protesters in Magura. The anti-discrimination students movement coordinators reiterated on Saturday for non-cooperation movement from Sunday, rejecting Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's proposal for talks. Following last week's civil unrest, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, in his first public comments since the protests broke out, called for suspension of protests related to the cost of living crisis, suggesting that this would create an opportunity for dialogue. As per Amnesty International, at least 13 people were killed on the first day of protests last Thursday.
Any further protest and create room for dialogue, which I have always acceded to at the slightest opportunity. Nigeria requires all hands on deck and need us all, regardless of age, party, tribe, religion, or other divides.
And for more on that story, we are joined by Tessem Akande from Jos in Nigeria. Tessem, President Bola Tinubu says that Nigeria he seeks to build has no place for ethnic bigotry. What's the message he's trying to send here? Okay, so the visuals that you're seeing on screen are the visuals of the protesters who have been, leading these protests on opposing the cost of living crisis. Of course, it has led to crackdown by the police. It has led to deaths. At least 13 people have been killed, since the protests broke out last Thursday. And in fact, 13 people were killed last Thursday itself when the protests broke out. And since then, there was a crackdown. President Bola Tinubu gave his first televised public comments since the protests broke out. And to talk more on that, I have with me Tessem, who's joining us from Nigeria. Tessem, President Bola Tinubu says that Nigeria he seeks to build has no place for ethnic bigotry. Now, what's the message he's trying to send here? Okay, we'll try and reconnect with Tessem. We are trying to connect with Tessem there, our correspondent from Nigeria. Due to some technical connecting issues, we couldn't get through to him. Moving on, in an outbreak of Mpox in the Democratic Republic of Congo, it's raising concerns about the spread of the virus globally. Health officials in Central African country are struggling to contain a new strain of the disease. The Congolese government recently approved the use of 2 Mpox vaccines to try and stop the spread of the disease that was previously known as monkeypox. DD India's Chris Okamringa has more in his report from Kinshasa.
Health workers in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo detected a new strain of the Mpox virus that is spreading rapidly in the region. The strain, known as Clade 1b, is reported to be deadlier than previous ones. Authorities fear the disease is spreading because many people are not seeking treatment.
The situation is very bad. We had expected to contain the disease by now, but it has continued spreading. One of the major reasons is that people are running away from us. They prefer getting treated by traditional doctors.
The DRC government recently approved the use of 2 Mpox vaccines to curb the spread of the disease, which has claimed more than 400 lives since the start of this year. 8,000 doses are expected in the country in September.
The only way of preventing the spread of Mpox is through vaccination. We are happy that our government authorized the use of vaccines in June. We have 2 vaccines that have been approved for people to use.
Mpox is a viral infection that spreads through close contact with infected people or wild animals. The disease is common in the forested areas of Central and West Africa. In 2022, a global outbreak of the disease affected more than 100 countries.
The first human case of Mpox was discovered in the DRC in 1970. The viral infection has continued claiming lives in many remote areas of the country because health facilities do not have testing kits. The situation has been made worse by the refusal of some patients to seek medical care. Chris Ochamringa in Kinshasa, reporting for DD India.
U.S. President and Democratic Party presidential nominee Kamala Harris has rejected Donald Trump's debate proposal on Fox News for the 4th of September. Harris' campaign has countered that Trump was trying to back out of a debate that was already set to run on ABC. Republican presidential nominee and Biden had earlier agreed for a second debate on the 10th of September on ABC News. On Saturday, Trump accused Harris of being afraid to engage in a debate on September 4th. Both candidates have been crisscrossing the country aggressively, with Trump trying to out fresh lines of attack against Harris. Meanwhile, Donald Trump with his running mate J.D. Vance was on campaign in Atlanta, Georgia on Saturday. While congratulating Russian President Vladimir Putin on the recent prisoner swap, he pulled up Biden for setting bad precedents. During his campaign, the former U.S. president hit hard on his contender Harris, saying that if she came to power, there will be a huge flow of illegal immigration. On the issue of trade, he said that more stringent taxes...
If Harris wins, a never-ending stream of illegal alien rapists, MS-13 animals, and child predators will flood into your communities. If I win on day one, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history. To further protect Georgia workers, I will revoke China's most favored nation's trade status. I will pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. If China or any other country makes us pay a 100 or 200% tariff, we will make them pay a reciprocal tariff of 100 or 200% right back.
And let's now take a look at what else is making news around the world. A catastrophic flood that has swept through Pakistan's Chitral district following a sudden burst of a glacial lake, leaving widespread destruction in its wake. The surge of water breached river banks, causing severe flooding that has damaged infrastructure and homes. Video footage shows that rivers swollen with grey stones and soils are rushing uncontrollably and sweeping over a broken bridge. Cleanup efforts were underway in southwestern China following severe flooding, mudslides caused by heavy rainfall. Southern China's Sichuan province is facing shortages of drinking water following the mudslides and floods as the local government works to deal with water safety issues. Fast-flowing flood waters and debris litters residential areas. Thai farmers celebrated the arrival of the rice crop cultivation season on Sunday with vibrant annual water buffalo race, a tradition dating back to the 1800s. This unique event marks the beginning of the monsoon season and serves as a colorful reminder of the region's agricultural roots. The race, held in Chonburi province, draws spectators and participants alike who eagerly anticipate the spectacle. Underwater archaeologist Hakan Oniz and his team from Akdeniz University are working on the Kumluka Middle Bronze Age shipwreck, the world's oldest known shipwreck off the coast of Antalya in Turkey. The shipwreck, which is about 3,600 years old, lies about 50 meters underwater in the Mediterranean Sea. The team is using advanced technology to uncover and preserve its treasures. This project is approved by the Ministry of Culture and Tourism and is a joint effort with the Akdeniz University, with strict safety measures in place due to the depth. They have recovered over 100 copper ingots, which are rare and weigh about 30 kilograms each. These artifacts will be displayed at the new underwater archaeological museum being built in Kema in Turkey. And still to come up on DD India News Hour, Indian President Draupadi Murmu to leave for a visit to Fiji, New Zealand and Timor-Leste tonight. Rescue operations in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand underway. Army building a footbridge in Sonprayag to speed up rescue efforts. And a new report says that domestic consumption of Indian organic products is on the rise.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Amritpal Singh. Well, moving on to Middle East, Hezbollah. Okay, first let's look at the headlines we are tracking at this hour. Hezbollah fires 30 rockets in an overnight barrage. Israeli jets strike a launcher in southern Lebanon. Iron Dome activated. Thousands rally in Venezuela opposing Nicolas Maduro's poll victory claims. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado joins the protesters. 2 killed in Bangladesh as fresh clashes erupt. Protesters seek Prime Minister's resignation, reject her offer of talks. India's President Draupadi Murmu will be visiting Fiji from the 5th of August to the 6th of August. This visit is seen as an important step towards strengthening India-Fiji bilateral relations. High Commissioner of India to Fiji, P.S. Karthikeyan, said that India-Fiji relations have now seen a positive growth, especially in the recent years. DD India's Vivek Pathak reports.
We are in Suva today, and the President of India is coming to Fiji tomorrow for a state visit. This visit is considered as an important step towards further strengthening of India-Fiji relations. Joining here today with us is High Commissioner to Fiji, Mr. P.S. Karthikeyan. Sir, welcome to DD News. Sir, we would like to know, in the context of India's diplomatic outreach and international scenario, how important is India-Fiji relations?
India-Fiji relations are very special. We share a very special and enduring bond going back 1.5 centuries almost, 145 years to be exact. And as you would know, I mean, under the Act East policy of the Honorable Prime Minister, I mean, we have been engaging very strongly with this region, especially since the formation of the Action-Oriented Forum, the Forum for India-Pacific Island Cooperation, FIPIC, which was incidentally established here during the historic visit of Prime Minister Modi in 2014. And Fiji remains the most important partner of India in the Pacific region. And considering our historic relations here and our modern and multifaceted development partnership, Fiji is a very key partner for India's engagement in the Pacific. And this historic visit of the Honorable President, this is the first time ever, I mean, President of India would be visiting Fiji, is going to be a huge kind of a milestone in our relationship, and it is set to further propel our partnership of progress and prosperity into the future.
Where do you see India-Fiji relations in the next few years?
I think our relationship is in a very sweet spot, and it is poised for a massive expansion. And as you can see from these high-level exchanges that are happening, in the recent time, I mean, there is a tremendous amount of interest on both the sides to, come together and unlock the full potential in our relationship. If you look at the potential and what we have achieved, I think still there is a long way to go. But I'm happy to state that, I mean, the best is yet to come as far as our relationship is concerned. And this historic visit, I'm sure, is going to get it started.
We are really thankful for your time, sir. Thank you for joining with us.
It's a pleasure.
And India's Home Minister Amit Shah launched the newly developed national app E-Saksha, Nyaya Setu, Nyaya Shruti and E-Saman under the new criminal laws at the Union Territory of Chandigarh Secretariat.
मैं आपको विश्वास के साथ कह सकता हूं इसके संपूर्ण क्रियान्वयन के बाद समग्र संसार में इस सबसे आधुनिक अगर कोई दंड की प्रक्रिया को हटाकर हमारी जो प्रक्रिया आएगी, आपराधिक कानूनों की प्रक्रिया आएगी, संसार में सबसे आधुनिक और टेक्नोलॉजी से युक्त प्रक्रिया हमारी होगी, कोई देश की।
Rescue operations in the North Indian state of Uttarakhand are underway as work has started on building a footbridge in the washed out area between Sonprayag and Gaurikund. Army is engaged in restoring the roads and building bridges to speed up the rescue efforts. Indian Air Force helicopters have already transported over 1 ton of load, evacuated 3 patients requiring oxygen and safely lifted out 43 passengers too. And the army has sent 2 sniffer dogs on the Yatra route to carry out the rescue ops. And on the other hand, in Himachal, so far 55 people have been reported missing due to the rain-related incidents. Indian Army, in close coordination with the state rescue team and the civil administration, is engaged in the rescue operations. Chief Minister of the state, Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu, said that the state has faced a disaster resulting in a loss of about 700 crore rupees. And rescue operations are also underway in South India's Wayanad. Around 220 bodies have been recovered so far. There are still others missing. Identifying the bodies from the Chalia River in Nilambur continues to be challenging. The Air Force has launched relief and rescue operations simultaneously for Wayanad on the 4th day. And the Indian Air Force contingent has been deployed at Calicut Airport towards the HADR in Wayanad following the devastating landslide on Sunday morning. Air Force rescue teams launched an ALH helicopter to rescue 2 stranded survivors from the base of Suchipara waterfalls near the Churamala village in Wayanad. Wet spell in the entire country continues to batter day-to-day life. In the western state of Maharashtra, rains have again intensified. The IMD has issued a red alert for the districts of Pune, Satara and Palghar in the state for Sunday. Orange alert for Konkan coast and Nashik along with Mumbai. If the situation continues to be grim in the dam area near Pune, the rate of discharge is likely to increase. Pimpri Chinchwad city and surrounding areas and low-lying areas have also been cautioned. Shishir Shelar my colleague joins me for more on that story from Mumbai. Shishir, we told about the rain warnings. Give us the situation. What is it on the ground? How is it affecting normal life of people?
That's the reason some of the region has been alerted by the authority. The Indian Meteorology Department have already alerted that the Pune, Satara and Palghar district in Maharashtra have been issued red alert, and that's the reason proper arrangements have been done in these areas. Talking about Pune particularly, because we have seen that a flood-like situation in Pune last week when incessant rainfall occurred in Pune and surrounding areas. We have seen that the most of the low-lying areas of Pune have submerged. We have seen that the water of these, especially the major rivers in Pune, have entered into the households also and have also made a lot of losses to the people. And keeping that in mind, this time around, government is on alert mode. Since yesterday night, we have seen the incessant rainfall in Pune region and Satara region as well. And that's the reason the SDRF team and the NDRF team have been alerted here. The local agencies have been told to alert people. And if it is not necessary, they should not come out from their houses. The warning has been issued by the local authority as well. We're talking about the rest of Maharashtra. Orange alert had been issued by the IMD to the Mumbai and Konkan region. Now, the Konkan region, if you see, the Ratnagiri and Raigad district have been given the orange alert, and that's the reason, especially the coastline area people have been told, and fishermen specifically have been told not to venture into deep sea for the fishing. Well, as far as the precautionary measures are concerned from the state government, the Deputy Chief Minister and the Guardian Minister of Pune, Ajit Pawar, have already reviewed the situation of Pune. and I've also instructed the local authority to be on alert mode here. And as I'm talking to you, the Palghar district, the Satara district, and the Pune, the three important, the district which the IMD has issued red alert right now. The authority is keeping very close tab on it.
All right, Shishir, thank you very much for that update. And let's take a look at other stories making news. At least 9 children have died and several others injured after a wall collapsed at a temple in central state of Madhya Pradesh's Sagar district today. The tragic incident took place during a religious ceremony. The injured children have been rescued and hospitalized. Indian Navy submarine INS Shalki is in Sri Lanka on a 2-day visit. The visiting submarine was accorded a ceremonial reception by the Sri Lankan Navy upon its arrival on 2nd of August. INS Shalki is a Shishu Mar class diesel electric submarine commissioned into the Indian Navy on the 7th of February 1992. This is the first ever submarine to be built in India. Virasat, an exhibition to celebrate the 10th National Handloom Day, began at the Handloom Hut in India's national capital, New Delhi. The event focuses on the glorious tradition of handloom and handicrafts, providing a market connection to the handloom weavers and artisans. Handloom products from some exotic locations of the country are on display and sale at the exhibition. The 10th National Handloom Day will be celebrated on the 7th of this month. Okay, this is an interesting report that has come out, which says that India is leading the world with 55% of organic producers. However, India holds just 1.4% share in the global organic markets. The latest numbers from a CRSI report shows that domestic consumption of Indian organic products is on the rise, and that is well above the global average of 8%. This has helped the nation recalibrate its organic growth story. More in this report.
The 16th edition of the Biofact Trade Fair, which is India's top trade fair for organic, natural and millet industries, saw Commerce Secretary get a first-hand look at the exhibition and the stakeholders in the organic markets. He interacted with the state stalls, especially from the northeast, and listened to the topographical and certification problems faced by the players in the organic industry.
The export market, it is huge. It is about 140 billion US dollars. We can really realize this potential. Currently, we are exporting about $500 million of our organic products. I think we should double this in the next 2 to 3 years. Raise it to at least $1 billion of our exports from the organic products.
India's global share in organic markets stand at $142 billion, but the consumption in the Indian FMCG market is now pegged at $167 billion US. The latest numbers from a CRISIL study, which was released on the Indian organic industry, was published in the Biofact Trade Fair.
Domestic market is this big, and it's expected to further grow at such a good CAGR. Growing to around 12,500 crores by 2033. So that's a tremendous growth. We are doing it above the global average, the growth that is estimated. So I think this is an eye-opener for everybody that not only at export level, at domestic level also, the organic is blooming.
The growth journey in the domestic organic market at 17% is a big plus, but India needs to focus more on value-added and retail products. The role of corporate India could be the game changer in the organic products growth story for India, which is also the need of the hour.
Ask the corporates to spend the CSR funds, which is 2% of their turnover and profit, on organic and sustainable farming. This will actually ensure that the corporates are involved in the growth story of organic industry.
In 2023-24, India's organic food exports reach approximately $494.8 million US. In the next 8 years, India can put 20% under organic farming, with natural and organic farming leading the way. The government's initiatives to boost organic exports with NCOL, dedicated organic division, MRA implementation, trade fairs will help in a big way to help the organic industry's export potential jump to $8.9 billion by 2032. Anil Thomas, DD India, New Delhi.
And still to come on DD India News Hour, Lakshya Sen goes down in the semi-finals of the men's single, now to fight for a bronze medal match. Indian pugilist Lavlina crashes out in the quarter-finals against China's Li Qiang.
This summer, the world turns its eyes to Paris, and DD India brings you every heartbeat, every victory, and every story. Introducing our special coverage of the Paris Olympics. Experience the passion, the drama, and the triumphs. With exclusive reports, expert analysis, and up-to-the-minute updates. Join us as we bring the spirit of the Olympics to your screens.
Get ready for the ultimate sporting extravaganza on DD India.
DD India presents Champions Day Paris. Only on DD India. Every day at 6:30 p.m. IST, 1 p.m. GMT.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Amritpal Singh. And it's time now for sports update. I have with me my colleague Abhishek Mahajan joining us in the studio to give us all the sports update. Not a very good day for us at the Paris Olympics today?
Mixed day for India. I mean, they lost in badminton and boxing. But yes, good win for India. In hockey, they have reached
hockey is a good win.
Semi-finals. Yes. In fact, we'll start with that story itself. We are into the semi-finals of Paris Olympics 2024 men's hockey after beating Great Britain via shootout at India, one win away from a second successive medal at the Olympics. They'll now face either Germany or Argentina in the semis. India, who were reduced to 10-man in the 17th minute of the match, defied odds to take the lead through Harmanpreet Singh, who scored his 7th goal of the tournament. Harmanpreet converted a penalty corner in the 22nd minute before Lee Morton equalized for Great Britain 5 minutes later. This came after India had a man sent off in Amit Rohidas. While the match ended 1-1 after full time, India advanced to the semi-finals after winning the shootout 4-2. And in badminton, India's Lakshya Sen has lost in semi-finals of men's singles badminton clash against world number 2 Victor Axelsen in straight games 20-22 and 14-21. He was leading in the first game 16-20, leading 7-0 in the second game too. But Victor Axelsen showed his skills, grit and determination and came back to beat the Indian in straight games. And he showed why he's reigning champion and world number 2. Lakshya now will fight for bronze medal match against Lee Zijia of Malaysia on Monday. Lakshya Sen became the first Indian male shuttler to reach semi-finals when he defeated Chinese Taipei's Zhou Tianchen. Boxing now. Journey of Indian boxer Lavlina Borgohain also came to an end at Paris Olympics on Sunday after facing defeat in women's 75 kilograms quarterfinals. Lavlina lost to China's Li Qiang in women's 75 kilogram quarterfinal game. She displayed her full ring craft, but in the end, the third round was characterized by a slowing down of her legs and a weak punch. The Indian boxing campaign ends at the Paris Olympics with no medals. All right, let's go across to Paris. DD India's Narayan Singh is joining us live from there. Narayan, let's start with Lakshya Sen. He was leading in the first game, 15-10, and then 20-16 also. He got 4 game points also, 7-0 in the second game. What do you think went wrong with him?
Definitely, we can say that pressure in the events like Olympics always is there, and coming to the pressure, we can say that it was a reason, but we know that the kind of player Victor Axelsen is their world number 2. He is a beast of the game. We know that beating him was always a Herculean task, and if you take a look head-to-head against Lakshya, and Victor Axelsen he has an upper hand. But we can say that our Lakshya has shown a big fight, a good fight against the Victor Axelsen. He was leading, but we know that in the games, in the podiums like Olympic, always pressure plays the key role, and we know that the reflexes initially the Victor Axelsen was missing. After he was down, he showed that reflexes and his A game he bought, and he know that how to tackle the situation when he is under the pressure, how to bounce back. Exactly that thing we can say that after taking a fantastic handsome lead in the first game, we can say that missed the opportunity, Lakshya here.
Missed opportunity, and like you said, that's why he's a reigning champion, talking about Victor Axelsen. But all is not lost for Lakshya Narayan. He'll play the bronze medal match tomorrow against Lee Jia of Malaysia.
Definitely, opportunity is there, and playing against the Malaysian opponent, we are hoping that he will convert the medal here at the Olympics tomorrow. And we know that first time he was the male shuttler from India to be there in the semi-finals, and already he has created history, and he will take that thing a notch higher by winning a medal when he will play the Malaysian shuttler in the bronze medal match. And we know that also, you know that Abhishek, that Victor Axelsen, what kind of player he has dominated the world of badminton and won every title. So it was really, we can say that the fight given by the Lakshya, we should praise Lakshya coming here to till this stage. Despite his form we saw in the last 6-7 months, he was not in the race for the Olympics, but he made a comeback towards the last moment and played some fantastic badminton to be there in the top 16, to be there in the Paris Olympics. All in all, we should kudos to him, and we should praise Lakshya, the kind of badminton he played. He defeated Pranoy, he defeated another shuttler, that is Jonathan Christie. So he defeated all top players. But tomorrow will be also crucial match for him. We are hoping that definitely Lakshya will win a bronze for India tomorrow when he play a bronze medal match.
Absolutely, a lot of ebbs and flows in that semi-final game. But talking about hockey, Narayan, what a great win for India. Second successive semi-finals for Harmanpreet Singh and company, but beating Australia in the last game, and now Great Britain. Indians deserve a lot of credit.
Definitely, the kind of hockey they played here, as we were discussing earlier, that Indian team in this tournament especially, they look different, they look more confident, more composed, and they kept their defense very tight and didn't allow the opponent to score too many goals, and playing 10 men against at the podium of Olympic against the team. And we know that Britain is a good team, but playing against 11 versus 10, we can say that it's a Herculean task for any team to be play at the stage of the Olympics, and they deserve this win. And we are hoping that if India can win Olympic match at the quarterfinal stage with 10 men, definitely it's going to be difficult for India, whether it is Germany or Argentina, whoever plays. And last time we know that India were against Belgium in the semi-final, but this time around either it will be Argentina or Germany, and last time we defeated Germany in the bronze medal match. So that's why we are hoping that here it's a golden opportunity for the India to regain the lost glory, that the game we dominated the ones winning 8 gold medals in the Olympics. It's all likelihood that this time around they will do that thing.
And Narayan, why India has managed to win that game in shoot-off especially? A lot of credit goes to P.R. Srijesh, India's goalkeeper. Last Olympics for him, he has already announced, and he's again standing like a wall. But he deserves a lot of credit.
Definitely, as you mentioned, we all know that He is the wall of the Indian hockey. In the past too, many times he rescued the team, and in this tournament today he showed that why he is among the best goalkeepers in the world, saving the penalties. We know that it's a very difficult and the pressure, because all hopes are pinned on the Srijesh, and the kind of goalkeeping skill he displayed, it's all about the reading the other players who is shooting. So his capabilities of understanding of the game, he has a plethora of experience. He has played a number of matches and won a large number of matches for him. So his experience also comes into play, and his we can say that his understanding of the game, where the player will strike the ball. So all in all, he is the hero, and we are hoping that in the next when he will play the semi-finals, there also he will display the same skills. And Harmanpreet Singh, kudos to him. Throughout the tournament, he guided the team, he mentored the team and played a fantastic hockey, giving quick passes and converting the penalties pieces into the goals. So we can see that all-round team, currently Indian team is looking like they have to play this kind of hockey in the next round and then in finals also. If they can continue this thing, this strategy, this never bowing down their pressure, playing their natural game even in the pressure situation, this will be the key for the Indian hockey team. Definitely this time around we are hoping that a notch higher for the Indian hockey team.
Right, all eyes will be in the semi-final game. India will play either Argentina or Germany. We'll leave it at that, Narayan. Thank you for your inputs. All right, that's all we have in Sports Stories. Back to you, Amritpal.
Thank you, Abhishek, for that. But is the moral of the story of the day is that the 10 can do an up on 11?
Yeah, of course. I mean, let's hope. I mean, semi-finals, it will be a big game. We'll play either Argentina or Germany.
And we hope in semi-finals we are 11. We don't take a red card again. Thank you, Abhishek, for that. And space-themed tourism is getting increasingly popular in China's northern regions, including Gansu and Inner Mongolia, where local landscapes resembling Mars provide a unique opportunity for space enthusiasts to fulfill their dream of space exploration. Known for its vast Gobi Desert, which is a cold desert there, Gansu's Jinchang city has built a Mars simulation survival experience center to resonate with its Mars-like outdoor scenery. The center also allows tourists to participate in different trainings that simulate that of astronauts, such as high gravitational training and rotating training. That's it then in this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available both on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code you see on your screens right now to download. And we'll be back with more news here as it breaks on DD India. I'm Amritpal Singh with my entire team from Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.